Part A, Chapter 6, International Organization in a Unipolar World. In this chapter, we will discuss the international organizations after the disintegration of the Soviet Union. As you know, Cold War came to end after the disintegration of Soviet Union and nature of world politics changed considerably. United Nations became a new organization for maintaining peace, whereas United States became the most powerful nation in a new world order in such a unipolar world. What is the role of organizations like United Nations is discussed in this chapter. Many countries are demanding reforms of the Security Council of the United Nations. In this chapter, we will also discuss the role of India in United Nations and its stand on the restructuring or reconstructing of the Security Council, how it reconstruct or restructure the system in a greater way or in a smaller way. We will discuss it in the chapter. First of all, why international organizations are necessary? Let us discuss. As you know, international organizations are required to maintain world peace and help the countries to develop. International organizations are formed voluntarily by the countries of the world. International organizations play an important role both in time of peace and war. Moreover, in it works to ensure cooperation among the various countries and improve the standard of living of the people. The United Nations organization is an important organization in the contemporary world of the present world system for the entire world. United Nations organization is indispensable for maintaining and promoting peace and development for the entire human race. According to the second secretary of the United Nations, the international organization UN was not created to take humanity to heaven but to save it from hell. A very interesting and inspiring line. The conflicts in the world can be solved peacefully through negotiations. War is not the only solution of a problem. In such a case, the role of the international organizations is a very important. However, these organizations are not the ultimate authority and their decisions are not legally binding on the members of the states or member states. Such organizations can only render advice. So, what is required is the willingness of the conflicting countries to solve their problems peacefully, and only then the international organizations can extend their help. International organizations also save the world from some other dangers. For example, to eradicate some deadly diseases from the world, the countries have to vaccinate their citizens. In such cases, the international organizations can help or can play an important role. Moreover, the rising sea level because of the global warming may lead to the problem of the flooding of the close coastal areas. The main cause of the global warming is the chlorofluorocarbon, as you know, a kind of chemical gas emitted by big industries, vehicles, other things. International organizations can establish cooperation among these big industries and as well as vehicle licensing systems so that they can take necessary steps to ensure that these or dangerous gas does not enter the atmosphere. Next, we will discuss the evolution of the United Nations organization. The first half of the 20th century witnessed two world wars, First and Second World War. To save the world from the Third World or another World War, people began to feel the need of an international organizations which can stop war in future. As a result of this, League of Nations was established in 1920. After the First World War, initially League of Nations found success, but later it could not fulfill its objectives, and in the year 1939, Second World War began. After the beginning of the Second World War, we find that a need of the stable organization was necessary. During the Second World War, there was a discussion among the nations about the need of another international organizations to maintain and promote world peace. Accordingly, after the Second World War, United Nations organization was formed on 24th October 1945. Altogether, 51 countries signed the United Nations Charter in the San Francisco Conference, and UN was formed. At present, the UN has 193 members. 24 October is celebrated as the United Nations Day all over the world. Now, let us discuss some objectives of the United Nations organizations. First of all, a very simple thing to maintain international peace and security. Then you can say to cooperate in solving international economic, social, cultural, and humanitarian problems, in promoting respect for human rights. Then you can say to ensure development of the entire world on social and economic front, and to save the future generation from the danger of the war. So this is the very brief outline of the United Nations organizations. Now entered into the new system, that is organs of the United Nations organizations, the branches, the departments. The first department is called General Assembly, then the next department Security Council, then Economic and Social Council. Number 4 is Trusteeship. Number 5 International Court of Justice, and number 6 Secretariat. Let us discuss in a very brief way what is General Assembly. General Assembly is consisted of all the members countries of UN. Every member country can send 5 representatives to the body, but every country has only one vote. General Assembly sit at least once in a year. It elects one president and one vice president every year. Then we can discuss about the Security Council. Very interesting and active council, so far as uh, known to all. It is a very important organ of the United Nations organization. The total member in Security Council is 15, and there are 5 permanent members and 10 non-permanent members. Permanent members countries are USA, Great Britain, France, Russia, and China. Earlier, Soviet Union was a permanent member country. The permanent member have veto power. That means to say no to anything. And if one veto is against every decision, then the decision is cancelled, and all supported the system or policy will be passed. With the help of this veto, one can block or reject any decision of the Security Council. For this reason, this veto power is called a negative power. You should remind this line. The non-permanent members countries are elected by the General Assembly for 2 years on the basis of two-third majority. Economic and Social Council. This council has been set up to coordinate economic, social, and other activities of 14 special agency commissions and 5 regional commissions of United Nations organization. The council also accepts reports of 11 funds and programs of United Nations organization. Next one is trusteeship. This council provides for an international system to safeguard the interests of the inhabitants of territories which are yet fully independent and which may be placed there under by individual trusteeship agreement. These are called trust territories. Next is International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice is being created by international treaty. All the member countries are the part of the court. There are 15 judges in the International Court of Justice, and its headquarters in The Hague. Netherlands. The judges are elected by General Assembly and Security Council for a term of 9 years. Finally, Secretariat. Secretariat is composed of the Secretary General and a group of international staff appointed by him in accordance with the rules determined by the General Assembly. However, Secretary General High Commissioner for Refugees and Managing Directors of the funds are appointed by General High Commissioner, and and the managing directors of the fund are appointed by the General Assembly directly. The headquarters of the Secretariat is New York. The first Secretary from Norway 1946 was Trygve Lie. In our next classes, we will discuss the restructuring of the United Nations in future and also India's position in restructuring the system. The chapter is so far as vast. It has plenty of knowledge under it, and it has very relative questions to the international politics as well as to your syllabus. So that's all for today. Let's get chuti.